right. Hate wearing these glasses, but cannot see my computer without them. So, make sure our microphone is turned up. How is that sounding? Is that sounding okay today? Looks okay. Could maybe be just a bit louder, like so. You know, there's no freedom of speech in this country anymore. Not for certain people. Now, for others, there is an abundance, an overabundance of free speech. Oh, yes. Certain groups of people, certain categories of Americans have unlimited free speech. No rules apply whatsoever. Obscenities, vulgarities, perversities welcomed and advised. So that's the way it is. And people are going to have to, eventually, they will have to act in an accordance of self-preservation, propagation of the species, out of the love for their family, their country, their culture, their way of life. People are going to learn to defend their loved ones. And they know that there's no protection from the courts. In fact, the courts are going to side with the violent criminal. Certain violent criminals. As long as the victim is of a certain category. Okay, so what is going on here? Well, I'll tell you what. She's tried to hurt that little innocent child as bad as she can. Yep. Even trying to pinch his genitals really hard and elbow him in the face, and I don't know how much of this I can even show. I'm probably going to have to blur that out. YouTube ran by the people that they're ran by. They will definitely have a problem with this video. Inciting violence or some bullshit. Motherfuckers. So yeah, I'm gonna have to blur that out. But that is the reality. Whether you know it or not. They want to hurt your children really bad. If you're of a certain persuasion, my fine feathered friend, you better believe they want to hurt them, and hurt them bad. Hurt them as bad as they possibly can. There's things going on right now that I just... what can you do? You know, unless you pull some kind of vigilante shit or something. I mean, you know, you're going to get a militia up, or I don't know, maybe I should avoid certain words. I think everybody should be packing at all times, I'll tell you that. For the obvious reasons, and the reasons are very obvious. And it's because there's a certain, I'm not saying who, because you can't really on YouTube, but a certain category of Americans, a certain specific community or culture, represent only roughly 18 to 20% of the population, yet they're committing roughly 80% of all violent crime. And that's, you know, federal statistics after the certain districts ran by a certain American political party. After those districts hide information and change the demographics of offenders to a different demographic that normally doesn't do the violent crimes. Oh, they got some dirty tricks. Dirty tricks, I tell you. If you don't know that by now, then you're most likely a libtard. And that was one of my comments right there on a video. I did not show my my handle that I use on the old Facebook. But our country is infested with inner-city violent criminals preying upon the law-abiding, the most racist, lawless, evil, immoral, violent culture in world history. I should have added unintelligent there as well, and sub-Neanderthal, quite frankly. We should be charging these monsters with terrorism and sending them to foreign prisons like you know where in El Salvador and Guantanamo Bay and Tierra del Fuego, and I've heard we've got some facilities in Iceland and Greenland that are rather dark, torturous, miserable, hellhole, offshore prison facilities. Yeah. And of course, history has to be changed. Like here. Now these people, they're not happy with the way history actually went. Now see, they want to be a part of that. They want to claim all of the accoutrements and the acclaim that come along with being certain cultures that existed in antiquity. They want to identify as the Mongolians. They want to identify as the Central Asians. They want to identify as the native indigenous North Americans. Did you know that? They also claimed that they were here before the red race, the North indigenous North American race, that they were here first, and that this is their land, and that they have supremacy. They also constantly claim racial supremacy, and of course, you know what that's called. That's called a racist, I believe. Isn't that the term? Can somebody help me out here? Racist, I believe. And then this guy, you know, most people by now know about this guy. His son was a violent criminal, a true shitbag and menace to society who got deleted by the old bang-bangs of the law enforcement agency in that area. So this guy, the father, the biological father, can't call him a daddy, right? He just went out and found a random police officer of a certain ethnicity. You know, the opposite of his ethnicity, pretty much. Did I say that right? Ethnicity. I have a little bit of a lisp. I have difficulty with certain words. But he found a victim, a law enforcement agent that was unaware of his presence and did something really bad. And this guy, he gets to make all the decisions. He gets to tell you. He gets to tell the president what the president can do. This guy gets to tell you who are the poor, innocent victims of racism and oppression. Thankfully, a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are arming up. People are preparing for, you know, the worst. You know, you hear that noise upstairs. You're napping on the couch, maybe watching some TV, and somebody comes down those stairs and you grab your you-know-what and you give them a dose of you-know-what, and then all of a sudden your ass is up on racial hate crime charges being prosecuted. Yet people like this dude right here, this piece of shit, this fucking piece of shit monster from the fiery furnace of hell, sought out a victim of a certain genetic background, we'll just say. And a female, of course, because females are a lot easier. They're easier victims to target. And she was an Uber driver and just wanted to go home to her family. Needed to make some money. You know, the economy, the food prices, the gas prices, the rent. Just wanted to make some money for her family, her children. And, well, you can see what happened. He deleted her. What a shit bag. Get the fuck out of here. You got this fucking piece of shit. This typical violent crip. This sub-Neanderthal piece of shit. And there's millions of them. And yeah, there's good ones of that particular persuasion. You're damn right. But even a lot of the so-called good ones will laugh and videotape while the bad ones off your ass. Because they know that if they don't show complete loyalty to the whatever they are, I can't say what they are. I'm not supposed to use that word on certain platforms. YouTube, X, Facebook, probably Rumble as well these days. Rumble fucking sucks, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet today, but I feel a need to. Rumble fucking sucks. Sucks ass. Let's see another one here. And here's another actual victim of racism and oppression right here. This elderly gentleman, World War II vet. So probably what, 95, 100 years old? What do you do? I know what to do. And I hope you know what to do. And the way that you resolve this rampant, skyrocketed racial violence that swept this country over the last couple of decades, it's not going to be with the cops and the courts. That's not going to do anything. That's not going to help you. Biblical justice, private justice, that's what you do. What is that? That's where the families of the victims seek retribution and payment, vengeance against the families of the offenders, the violators. I'd be such a victim. She was fired. What was that? Late for work 47 times in 10 months. Because punctuality was deemed a tool of white you-know-what. You can read it there for yourself. And she was awarded $11.25 million. God almighty. It's just unbelievable what the activist DAs, prosecutors, the judges, activist judges. It's amazing what they've done. This is an era of hyper treason, in my opinion. I mean, it's an era of anything goes. I mean, it's one step away from what happened back in the late 30s, early 40s in Germany. That's what they're trying here. That's what the left is trying to do. They're trying a lot of things. They're trying to spark what do you call it, a flashbang warfare. I don't want to say the word. I'm afraid that just saying the word will draw attention from the fine staff over there at YouTube that monitor the content. Registered nurse at Prairie State College in Chicago, Illinois, says she intentionally kills you-know-what people because they're you-know-what. A specific race, a specific ethnicity, or lack of ethnicity. What do you call it? But yeah, that's you see this over and over and over again if you pay attention and you do some research. Now, the mainstream media hides this fucking shit. They work feverishly day and night. So do the authorities. They work day and night to hide this shit. There is an outbreak, an epidemic of racial hatred and racial violence in this country. And what are you going to do about it? You know, everybody can only affect what they individually can affect. So what are you going to do about it? Be prepared for it. Be prepared for the very worst, and most importantly, don't hesitate to act. Don't hesitate. Use you-know-what force. Bang, bang. What was that movie Mel Gibson was in? You-know-what force? In the 90s, early and mid-90s. But here's the truth right here. That is the truth right there. You want to put up some statues? Put that up, because that is accurate. That is dead on, balls fucking accurate. I don't give a fuck what you think. You disagree. You think that it's racism to point out the fucking glaring truth. You think it's racism? Well, my fine feathered friend, fuck you. You try to tell people that they're not allowed to defend themselves from this infestation, this fucking menace to society, which most countries on this planet would not put up with, would not tolerate, would not allow this kind of fucking bad culture to exist. This extreme, racist, lawless, immoral, unintelligent culture. We're not talking about race here. See, decent people know that all people of a certain race, just a general umbrella of all of them, is not evil. Just that notion is racist itself. No. This is a certain culture. This is a certain American culture. Now, they have the same problems in certain other multicultural countries, Western socialist countries, I should point out. But moving on, look at it. It is what it is. I have nothing against these people. I have a good friend. She is a Moroccan Muslim. I've never seen her hair. She goes out the door of her apartment. She is wearing a hijab. She's married, obviously, and her husband demands it, but she also demands it. She has had that instilled in her since a very early age, that females in that culture, that tribe, that sect, or whatever she's a part of there in Morocco, now living here in the United States, that is one of the unspoken rules. And you defy those unspoken rules in that culture, and you have committed a very grave sin, for which the penalty can be, and honor, what. You do know what, right? Honor rhymes with shilling, rhymes with pilling, rhymes with milling. Mom, what is this? Who are the people from Europe? These are those who lived in Europe before it became ours. Did you fight them to get it? No, they just gave us their land because they were afraid of being called racists. Oh my God, it's so true. It's so true what certain ideologists in this world, not just in this country, heavily in Western Europe, this system that they have conditioned so that the indigenous population cannot resist, cannot refuse, can't do anything to reject their own demise. So is that it? Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Yes, that's it. But we're going to be doing more of these videos because there's always new material to cover. It's just, if you have an X account, you scroll through X at any given time and you're just going to see an abundance of this kind of violence, this kind of racial violence, racial targeting. And, just be ready for it. Do what you know you got to do, even if you got to go to prison for it. It's better than dying on your knees. And with that, I think we're going to end this thing right here. And if you watched my video, I sure do appreciate it. I'm sure YouTube is not exactly going to push this video. But if you watched it, I thank you, and maybe consider liking and subscribing. I bid your ass adieu.